Today, I really want to talk to my parents and some of the things that I am seeing just in my work. And I just want to give you some things to look out for when your kids do this one thing. Hello, beautiful people. I am Danny Wickfall, your go to relationship coach. I also happen to be a mental health therapist, creative artist, wife, mom, yada yada. The list goes on. I'm not getting into that list. My goal with this channel is to help you and encourage you to grow, give you steps, tools, and resources on how to build your relationships, and also with the main goal of building stronger families. Today is a different type of video because I'm focused more so on the parents than I am the relationship of the couple. So today I really want to talk to my parents and some of the things that I am seeing just in my work. And I just want to give you some things to look out for when your kids do this one thing. That one thing being, I'm hopping right into it, is using extreme words. So words like, I never do this, you always do this, no one does this, everyone does this, those very extreme, polarizing, it's either all or nothing type of words, I want you to be mindful of, and help encourage them to see that it's not everyone. Maybe there's some other people. Maybe there's other situations. Maybe there's some. Now, now who asked you to be a part of the video? All right, girlfriend. All right, I got to finish the video. Put, 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 put. Put, 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 put. Okay, so back to it. Is those extreme words where it's this or this? There's no gray area. Now, when our minds as kids is developing, they're growing, the brain is not fully developed. Our world is just the bubble that we live in. And sometimes as adults, the world is just the bubble we live in until we have experiences that expand that, right? But we have that gift of life experiences that tend to expand the bubble for us. But as kids, the bubble is just so small. So what we give them, they're going to receive, they're going to take in. So if you are a parent and you are saying, well, you always do this, you never do this, and you're using those extreme words, they're going to pick up those extreme words. And I just want to caution you or encourage you to make a shift to be able to see that it's not always. It's rare if it's always. It's rare if it's never. It's rare. Those occurrences are rare. Okay. So being able to create that flexibility in it is really going to help them moving forward, help them to see one, that the world is bigger, but two, that their circumstance or their situation is not just all encompassing, that it's just them going through this situation. It's just them feeling this way, or everyone's against them, or everyone's out to get them, or you never done this for me my entire life, or you always say these negative things, right? Once we start to build our world on these extreme things, the brain believes it. We start to believe it. The kids start to believe that this is all and this is everything. And that starts to shift their perspective of themselves. That starts to shift their perspective of their confidence, who they are, how they show up. So if there is one thing I want to encourage my parents in, is being mindful of using those extreme words, and if you do, being able to correct it. Oops, you know, we make mistakes. I did say that, but it's not always. It's not never. It's not no one. It's so pay attention to that, right? And even starting to call it out with your kiddos or your teens, being mindful of that. Because one thing I see in my office a lot is kids will have this perspective of, this is the whole world. This is everything to me. This is my whole entire life. And it's hard for them to get outside of that. And so when horrible things happen to them, or when they're experiencing horrible situations, it's harder for them to see a different perspective because they've trained themselves to see that this is everything. This is all of it. So this is my life. And this is why. I don't want to go too dark in this video. I don't. But I do just want to encourage you on a parenting tip. Be mindful of the words that you were saying. Also, what you're speaking over your child. You're lazy. or even what you're saying to your friends. Oh, this is a big one. When you think your kids aren't listening, 9 times out of 10, they have heard you at some point where you thought they didn't hear you. They have caught on to something where you thought they weren't either smart enough or catchy enough or weren't around, or they have. Because if I was to ask you right now, is there something that someone said about you that hurt your feelings that you're still holding on to this day? You might have something. You might have something for that, because words matter. So as a parent, you have so much power in helping shape your child's perspective. So you telling them they ain't gonna be nothing, or, well, he's lazy, he's not the brightest, she's not the smartest, she's not fast, she's not da 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 da. I want to encourage you to find other ways to shift it. What are they good at? Focusing more on the things that they're good at. We don't have to highlight the things that they're working on or their weaknesses or their challenges, because then they may start to label themselves as that challenge. Well, I'm not the smart one, or I'm not the funny one, or I'm not the one that can catch on to things right, or I'm not the one, whatever, or I'm my father's child. Which, are you saying it in a positive, or are you saying it in a negative? You're your mother's, what? Are you saying it as a positive or a negative? So just be mindful of the words that you're saying over your child. Also be mindful of the words that your child is saying when it comes to extreme words. Take that time to sit down and explain to them, well, there's other perspectives. There's other people. Maybe it's not every time, but it might be a lot of the times. And you're right. Validate their feelings, validate their hurt that's there. But be mindful of the extreme words. Don't let those stick and stay. Their feelings, absolutely. How they're feeling about something, valid. So just also be cautious of when you are with friends or you're on the phone and you're talking to people about your children. That is not your safe space to say all the things about your children, okay? Be mindful that there may be times where your children are listening to you and they are taking those words to heart. Sometimes we forget how much power we have as parents when it comes to our kids. You have so much power to shape their mindset. So just be mindful of what you're saying when you think they aren't listening, because they might be listening, okay? And I just want to encourage you to not say things that could be damaging to them intentionally, just like, and sometimes it's not intentional. It's just like, oh, well, I mean, that's the real, the kid is this, but I just want you to be mindful that that can be very damaging to them, and they may hold on to that label. Even when they grow past that label, they may still accept that label. And that label that you're labeling them as may not even be accurate or true, but just your perspective of them, or what you're seeing in this moment, in this time in their life. So watch out for the extreme words, no one, always, never, all the time, whatever. Extreme words. It's just this or it's this, that black and white, this or this, right? Watch out for what you're speaking over them, the words and the adjectives you're using, okay? Even if for you in that moment it might be true, does it need to be said? Does that other person need to know this? Is it worth the harm that it might cause? And I check myself on this too. I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent. I am just giving tips of what comes into my office a lot, that sometimes kids will say things that their parents have said that their parents have no idea that they said that. Their parents have no idea that they were even around. Like, completely oblivious. But that child is still holding that, and I'm seeing that child now as an adult. And they are claiming a label that's not theirs to claim. Or they have this worldview that this situation is all I know. This is everything to me. I'm not enough. I'm not going to fit in. I'm not worthy. This is my bubble. I'm trying to live in this bubble, but yet you're telling me I'm not enough. Then now we're having identity issues of like, well, I don't, when sometimes it's not identity, it's perspective. And if there's things that are true about your child that you're seeing, I feel every strength has a challenge and every challenge has a strength. Be able to call out what those strengths are. Like, hey, if I was to say, you are strong willed, and that is great because you won't allow people to push you around. You stand up for what you believe in. You stand up for others. You test things before you just believe them. You don't fall for anything that people believe, you know. Sometimes the challenges with that is you may bump heads with people. It may cause friction. People may not like you. So find ways, if your child, your teen, adolescence, whatever is something, be able to explain to them the strengths within that. If you can't explain the strengths within that, don't say it. Just don't. If you don't understand that yourself, look at it for even just for yourself. There might be labels that you are holding yourself that someone else said about you that may not even be true, but you've adapted their perspective and are living up to whatever that label is, when that label was never meant to be yours. It was not meant for you to carry that label. So be mindful of those words and be mindful of what you're allowing other people to say over you. Just because someone says something about you doesn't mean that's true for you. Doesn't mean it's true for you. So reject it. Okay, you see me as that, but that's not who I am. Okay, so anyway, that's it for this Wednesday. This has been, if you see, I'm also wearing the same shirt. This was the original video I wanted to do. Now you guys will see that there's another video that I did that wasn't supposed to be the video, but I'm reacting to a video and I just had to get my words out. I just had to. Sometimes I can be like, but this time I couldn't. So, hey, don't forget to subscribe, okay? I am giving tips. My goal is to help grow families, to grow relationships, to grow individuals. So, if you vibe with that, if you want some tips, or if you want to share it with other people. Don't just keep it to yourself, okay? Share it to somebody else. I've been getting here on my comments. Girl, your quality is good. What you're talking about is good. Why you don't have any followers? So if you're watching this video, don't be one of those people that don't follow. But if this wasn't for you, by all means, don't. There's plenty of other videos on YouTube, you know. But, you know, you want to come back and hang with your girl and gain some tips, whether it's for now or for later, come rock with you. All are welcome. Until then, I will see you next Wednesday.